Okay, are we ready?
All right, so it shows I'm able to record this.
Everyone should have a camera on top. It has.
Does someone keep clicking the record button on the top?
For our presentation, we'll be persuading a group of volunteers to staff a nonprofit fundraising event, who in our audience will represent a group of people that are initially interested in providing their time for volunteer work. What is a nonprofit organization? A nonprofit organization is an organization that uses money to raise for a specific thing. For example, like the American Red Cross Society, they use the money to raise for cancer research. American Cancer Society have invested more than 4.6 million in cancer research since 1946, all to find more and better treatments to uncover factors that may have caused cancer and improve cancer patients' quality of life. American Red Cross, American Cancer Society Fund, they fund translational cancer research, and this program focuses on the interface between laboratory investigations and human cancer, molecular genetics and biochemistry of cancer. This program mainly focuses on genes. It plays a role in the process of genes. Cancer cell biology and metastasis. The primary goal for this program is to develop a better understanding of cancer cells. Clinical cancer research, nutrition, and immunology. The scientists for this program, they investigate new ways to identify and monitor cancer. Cancer control and prevention research. This program focuses on the study of behaviors, health, professional training, and cancer control. This program, they provide grants to nurses, physicians, and social workers to continue to pursue training in the cancer prevention and control. If a nonprofit organization is free, then why are more people not volunteering? Because nonprofit organizations, they have some downfalls. They have paid employees and volunteers, but it's not considered a job. They have low pay, long hours, can be demanding. They want you to be available whenever needed, gives you short notice, is not always safe, can be in dangerous climates, exposure to violence and infectious disease. Nonprofit organization has a very high demand on work on their hand, but they try to make sure that they carry out the mission, providing help to marginalized clients and the workers understand the work-related risks in this organization. We suggest that the functioning of this organization, of such decursive commitments in organizations and their implications for well-being of the workers, underscores the importance of understanding organizational culture and social construction of risk when attempting to improve working conditions and protect workers' health in social services non-profit organizations.
Your organization can get state and federal exemptions from corporate income taxes plus certain other taxes. Organizations that qualify as public charities are eligible for federal exemptions from payments of corporate income taxes. So once exempted from this tax, a nonprofit will usually be exempt for similar state and local taxes. You also have the ability for public and private grants. Nonprofit organizations are allowed to solicit charitable donations from the public, and grants are charitable monetary donations given from both the public and private foundations. Many foundations and government agencies limit their grants to public charities. Another benefit is formal structure. A nonprofit organization exists as a legal entity in its own right and separately from its founder. So incorporations put the nonprofit's mission and structure above the personal interests of the individuals associated with it. And then the last benefit of a nonprofit organization is limited liability. Board members, officers, employees of your organization receive protection from liability for corporation debts and lawsuits. Creditors can only go after your corporate asset, not the personal assets of the people who manage, work for, or volunteer for your nonprofit under the law. There are exceptions. A person cannot use the corporation to shield illegal or irresponsible acts on his or her part. Also, directors have the physical responsibility. If they do not perform their job in the nonprofit's best interest, the nonprofit is harmed and they can be held liable. There's a couple of types of different organizations. There's corporations that are organized under the Act of Congress that work for example, like a federal credit union. There's certain organizations, the more common, that focus on religious or educational, charitable, scientific, literal, the more common nonprofits that we usually see. There's also civil leagues, social welfare organizations, labor, agriculture organizations, and many, many more.
The American Red Cross Society. What is the American Red Cross Society? It is a nonprofit organization created to help with disasters by Clara Burton in 1881. Clara Burton modeled the American Red Cross Society after the Swiss Red Cross. She witnessed how they handled situations, emergency situations. She wanted to do a progressive volunteer corps to cover things that the government wasn't covering in the United States. She stayed the leader until 1904. It was taken over by the next director. Currently, they have just over 1.2 million volunteers. 90% of the American Red Cross is volunteer. And how can the Red Cross Society help? First and foremost, disaster relief. This is what everybody thinks of with the American Red Cross. The picture of people handing out blankets after a house fire or teddy bears to the children. They do more than that with the disaster relief. They handle major disasters too, such as hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding. They provide housing, food, basic assistance to anybody in need in a time of disaster. Second thing they do, health and safety education. American Red Cross is where you go to get certified in first aid and CPR. These are nationally recognized certifications. Most businesses nowadays send a few people, or larger businesses, I should say, send a few people to get CPR certified so that they can have their own employees be able to respond to an emergency situation. This American Red Cross is where they go to do that. They also do swimming classes for children and teach lifeguarding. Certification there. Again, it's all recognized. A large portion of what they do, no one talks about a lot, is the blood donor services right now in the United States. In any time in history, really, the amount of blood in hospitals is always low. It's hard to get people to donate blood. American Red Cross goes around with mobile units to collect blood donations. Another free service that they provide that the hospitals desperately need. Help for the U.S. military. The American Red Cross and the military have a long history. The Red Cross not only is known to be on the battlefield in many combat zones, helping civilians in any way that they can with medical aid. They also help the U.S. military, the soldiers, directly by providing assistance to family members when the soldiers are deployed, communications to family members when the soldiers are deployed. They can provide transportation in case of emergency for family members. And there's a long list of things that they actually do for the military free of charge. With the international services, they're called the American Red Cross, but they're part of the International Red Cross system, and they do provide assistance for disasters anywhere in the world. They provide doctors, they provide housing, excuse me. They provide anything people could need while they're in the situation that they're in, again, free of charge. So the American Red Cross Society helps anybody who's in need, and that is what they do and how they can help. Thank you.
So why does this all matter? What does this matter to you? Our goal today is to help people in a time of need, no matter how big or how small. This past October, there was an electrical fire in a small apartment building. Although some say you see fires all the time, so what's the big deal? The 4 families that were affected in this fire lost everything. Their homes were completely burnt down. They lost their houses, clothes, appliances, everything. All 4 of these families also had kids that were in high school. During the time of the fire, they were all either just waking up or they were getting ready for school already. The worst of it all, none of these families were able to replace their things because they all did not have renter's insurance. Every single family had to start from scratch. I know this because my sister was one of the victims in the apartment fire. She ended up having to sleep on my couch for 3 weeks until she was able to find a place to live that she could afford. If you look at the picture on the slide in the middle, that is the apartment building during the fire. The left side of the apartment was completely destroyed. It even had a hole that caved in the middle. On the right side, it was also destroyed, but you were still able to walk through it a little bit. My sister was on the right side, so all she had left that was not destroyed was one small bag of clothes. The rest was completely gone. All of the families that lived there in the apartment building had lived there for the past 10 years at least. So imagine the heartbreak they had knowing they were practically ripped from their homes and having to start from scratch. These families got so much help from many different organizations. They got many donations and help with places to stay. With that being said, still today, they are trying to get back on their feet. So the question of the day is, how can we help? How can we help these families move on with their lives and be back at the financial stability they were at before? We are planning a fundraising event that will be fun, but also help these families in need. We want to do an outside barbecue at Friendship Park. This will create an excitement, and with the weather getting nicer, it makes it a perfect time to do this. The best way to spread the word is to create a Facebook event. I think that that can spread the word to the locals, and they can share it on their page, so that way it gets the word out to even more people. We plan on, of course, having dinner for the guests. We want to have grilled brats and burgers. We will have many sides for the guests as well. We want to rent a bounce house for the little ones and have a private auction for the adults. We also want to do prize drawings for the guests. So how can you help? We need volunteers everywhere. We will need volunteers to help at each activity to make sure that everything runs smoothly and the kids stay safe. We will need 2 volunteers to help cook the brats and burgers, and we will also need 5 to 6 volunteers to help with the sides. Salads, potato salad, fruit salad, anything you can think of. We will also need volunteers to help set up and take down the event. Friendship Park is being kind enough to let us use their space, so we should be kind enough to keep it clean. Also, if anyone is willing to give anything to the auction, that would be extremely helpful. The goal is $40,000, which will give each family $10,000 to get back on their feet. Any help that you can give would be appreciated, and every little penny or any help you can give helps. The smallest acts of kindness and volunteering could go a long way.
There are many reasons as to why you should volunteer. For our nonprofit organization, one of the first reasons that you should volunteer is because it gives you a sense of purpose. If you aren't sure where you're going in life, or you just need something to do to take your mind off things, volunteering will help you do that. The second reason that you should volunteer is because you're giving back to your community. Giving back to your community will not only make it thrive, but it'll make it a better place to live, not only for you, but for your friends and family. The third reason you should volunteer is because it'll help with your stress levels. Volunteering helps you keep active in your life, which keeps your mind moving and thinking. Also, being in contact with other people and making new friends is always a plus. The fourth reason that you should volunteer is because it will help you connect better with people, whether it's building a new house, helping with pets, or even spending time with senior citizens. You can connect with people, talk, and make new friends. The next reason you should volunteer is because it can help you advance in your career. Volunteering is a big part of getting a good job and even going to a good school. It shows that you care for your community and you want to give back. The sixth reason why you should volunteer is because it can help you with self-confidence. When you choose to volunteer, you're giving yourself a job to do, no matter what it is. Once you finish that job, you have this sense of accomplishment, which gives you a boost of confidence and self-worth. The seventh reason that you should volunteer is because it can give you different skills. There are many different volunteering opportunities out there, so there are many different skills that you can achieve. These skills can help you get a job and even further your current job. The last reason that you should volunteer is because it really doesn't take too much time out of your week or year, unless it's a national disaster and you're thinking of volunteering for a couple days or weeks. If you choose to help at an animal center or help build community homes, those might take a couple of hours or just time out of your day. Yeah. Our nonprofit organization that we have built as a community is here to help people in the nation and for people outside of the nation. What we have built is to help no matter what the disaster is, and we will always be there to help. We have raised money for all different kinds of situations like cancer. We have raised $4.6 billion since 1946, and that number is still rising. The American Red Cross Society has more than 1.2 million people helping them no matter what the disaster. Through the Red Cross Society, we offer more than just volunteering, but we can also more than volunteering, but skills like CPR, swimming lessons, and first aid lessons, and much more. We want to make sure that our volunteers can help no matter what the situation. While volunteering can have long hours and low pay rate, what you get out of volunteering is much more significant than what you're giving up. We will be holding an outside barbecue in hopes of raising more than $40,000. As a volunteer, you'll be doing all sorts of different jobs, from setting up, taking down, cooking food, making side dishes, and so forth. We thank you again for your help today and in the future. There are many reasons as why you should help us in our goal. You will be able to make a huge difference in this world through your selfless acts. You will be able to get tax exempts on your net income, but most importantly, you'll be able to give back to your community in so many ways and help them grow. Our nonprofit organization that we've built is meant to help people in the country when times are hard and when we are needed. You will always get our thanks for helping us when we call for people to help. No matter how big or small you are, you will make a difference in someone's life. We thank you again for any donations that you've given us over the years. Your money has gone to good use. Thank you again for looking at our organization and helping us.